Okay, so some other commitment type questions are, so I'm curious, you're 70 years old, why have you waited to take care of this until now? Right, and they're going to come up, because I want to really impress upon them without impressing upon them directly. Why'd you wait so long, right? I'm not saying it like that. I'm going, so what happened? It's another way of asking a question. So tell me what happened that all of a sudden this became a priority for you to look into. Did someone die that was close to you? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking about the other day that, I had a friend, or they might say, I had a friend of mine that passed away, and, I was just thinking I really should put something in place, and blah, 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 whatever they say. They're going to come up with whatever excuse. Like, okay, so now it's a priority for you that you want to take care of this. And they say, well, yeah, it is. Okay, so let me ask you a question. What happens if you don't take care of this and you die tomorrow? Tell me what kind of burden that puts on your daughter, Mary. Then I shut up and let her answer the question. Yeah, notice how it's starting to really get real for her, because I need to make it real for her. What that kind of question is called the cost of inaction. Like, what happens if we don't do it? Tell me what happens, and you die, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then she tells you that. It's like, okay, so this sounds like this is a priority for you. Is that correct? Yes, it is. So you nail the priority thing down. And then you do the future. It's called future pacing, what the future looks like. So basically what you're telling me is you want to make sure that when you die tomorrow, or if you die a year from now, or you die 20 years from now, that Mary is not going to suffer financial burden and trying to figure out how to pay for your funeral. Is that really what we're talking about here? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So what you did was you told her the outcome, you asked her what the outcome she wanted in the future, and then you're reassuring her that, okay, I'm going to be able to help you with that. I'll be able to take care of that for you, so you don't have to worry about this anymore, so that when you do die, your daughter Mary is going to be in the best position to take care of everything without any financial burden. Sound good to you? Yeah, it sounds good. Okay, then you proceed, right? So there are cost of inaction questions. There's finding out who they love. It's getting that commitment. How come, why did this become an issue now? Why is this a priority now? What happened to cause this to be something you want to take care of? You start getting all those psychological things. So basically what you're doing, and this is what I call, you're creating the lens before you give the lesson. So in other words, you're getting them how to think about what the solution is you're going to give them in the proper way that they're going to want to take action, right? So you're totally setting their mindset to check off the box of the solution you're giving them that takes care of the thing that they want and the thing they don't want, right? The thing they don't want to have happen and the thing they do want to have happen, and that it's a priority now instead of I'll think about it, right? So you're like totally setting their brains up to focus on when you give them what they want to do what you give them because it's a priority. They can't wait anymore. So it's a very emotional thing. But what you did was you created the frame. It's called framing. You created the right frame for them to look at it, right? It's powerful. It's a powerful psychological mode of selling, and you can use it for anything in whatever you're selling, because it all has the same process of really setting up the client with questions and then moving them, creating the urgency for them to move forward, and it's their decision. Like there's nothing you're not telling them you need to do this. They're telling themselves, I need to do this because I just told this lovely lady why I need to do it, what happens if I don't do it, and how much I love my daughter. So,
building that urgency.
You set them up, man. You're just totally setting them up.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah. I absolutely see, like, without setting them up, how it can definitely lead down a path where, they don't respond, they don't answer, they don't meet you for your next meeting. You didn't
Yeah.
create that emotional, piece to it to make them want to move forward.
That's why
Absolutely.
of the type of leads, like the social media leads for fun expense, they're
Hmm.
okay. You got to
Hmm.
really call through them to find the serious people. But the ethos leads, they were serious. That's why these type of questions really work on those ethos people, because it's like, well, you filled it out. Come on, man. There
You
must
wrote
be a reason why you did it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
So you
almost
wrote
playing on their why that, they were already there for a reason and you're just kind of filling
exactly,
that little piece that was already sitting there. Yeah.
exactly. Instead of the 76-year-old lady, I didn't fill anything out. I don't remember doing this. And like she
Yeah.
actually probably did it last week, and
Hmm.
she doesn't remember. I mean, that's how it is, right? So
Yeah. Well, and hers was an internet lead too. So my thoughts were, maybe she clicked something not even realizing that she was putting in her information for that. Some people might do that. You never know. But
yeah,
maybe, or she's just trying to get me off the phone, which is generally the general consensus. I know most people are like, just stop talking to me.
yeah. What's really important, what I found, one of the most important things is not, it's as important as kind of how you lead the client is how you lead yourself and how you think about everything, right?
Mhm.
And so your mental expectation on what's going to happen with every call, you have to be on your game,
Mhm.
knowing that you're going to win, right? That
Mhm.
this is going to help someone. And even if it doesn't, it's like, okay, this person didn't need my help, I'm going to find the next person. So
Mhm.
as opposed to the agent that calls like, oh man, I don't know. They're probably going to ask me, they're probably going to hang up on me, or they're expecting to fail. It's kind
Mhm.
of like, does Michael Jordan go into a basketball game ever thinking that he's going to miss a shot? He
Oh
doesn't,
no.
right? He's not worried about. It's like every time he misses a shot, it's like that doesn't compute. I wasn't supposed
Mhm.
to miss that shot. The next one I'm going to put up is going to go in. So it's
Mhm.
like it's an obvious mentality with people that are, in sports, you know,
Mhm.
like Peyton Manning. He's going to check that ball down the field. He knows that the receiver's going to dadgum catch it because he's going
Yep.
to put it in a position. He doesn't throw it going, oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't get intercepted. It
He doesn't
doesn't.
help. He knows.
I know. Now, if it happens to get intercepted, it's like that was a mistake, right?
Sure.
I'm going to fix that next time. But pure expect. So your expectation on yourself is as important as the stuff we're talking about. So that's one thing to keep your mind right. You know.
I've actually been doing a little bit of improvement with that, the whole mindset thing. I've been listening to Jim Rohn. I'm pretty sure you probably have heard
Oh,
of.
he's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's amazing. I stumbled upon some of his videos on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I started looking into more of what he has to say and reading up about this gentleman, and he's just brilliant. Like he talks about set your morning up right, and when you wake up instead, he's like some of the most successful athletes and people in the world. They wake up and say, I've got today. I am going to conquer today, and today is mine. And instead of waking up and dreading oh, I don't want to get up and 5 more minutes and let me snooze. He wakes up, he preaches about how if you get up and you stretch and you get your mind right and you do some reading to learn and you implement structural morning routine that you can set your day up in your mind to succeed. And that's where I want to be. Like I know my mindset hasn't been in a good spot and I want to grow that. I want to get out of that place so I can be successful here. So I've been
How
trying to implement a new morning routine and just trying to make those small steps to do what successful people do, because if I do what successful people do, I'll be successful.
Yeah. It's so much about mental energy that you're
Hmm.
putting into what you're doing. Like I'll give an
Absolutely.
example. So do you know that having to make multiple choices in everything you do takes away mental energy? So the
Hmm.
question is, how do I do that in a positive way with the things that make a difference, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, the guy that started Apple,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
the reason why you see every picture of him has a black kind of mock turtle, long sleeve,
Yep.
and black pants.
Hmm.
Because every time you woke up, he didn't want to have to figure out what he was going to wear. He just knows what he's going to put on every day and doesn't have to make. Now you're thinking, but that's such a simple choice. Well, it might be a simple choice. You'd rather make more important choices with other things that are more important,
Hmm.
and you only have so much in your mental energy tank every day. You wake up and it's full. How do you want to spend that gas? You know, you want
Oh
to
yeah.
spend it going down the road, forward. So all that
I like.
stuff up your routine, knowing that it's a routine that creates a successful day. You always want to do that. You don't want to mess that up. For me, I've learned that a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
great. That's
Well,
so good. You're getting into that. Oh my gosh.
well, thank you. I've been sitting here, and I think failing in the way that I had recently experienced in life, it made me really sit down and do a lot of self reflection and sit with myself. And I knew I wanted to be successful, but I'm like, I'm not executing it right, and I'm not getting there. And so, like, to do the self improvement, to learn that discipline is not only valuable but important. It's not necessary, but it's valuable if you want to be successful.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so it's just like just taking these small bits, and maybe if I change my habits, and if I act successful, and if I am, I'll be successful. If I know I'm going to be successful, I'll get there.
Yeah,
Changing my whole frame of mind is what I needed. I don't think I would have been receptive to this, previously when I worked with you. I think it took me going through some stuff to really be open to this
yeah,
mindset, and welcoming it. And now that I want to welcome it, I feel like I'll be able to welcome more things,
yeah,
being successful and
absolutely.
having good phone calls and making good sales and stuff. So, I'm
Well, you
excited.
are you are the captain of your own ship, and by
Absolutely.
taking that responsibility of not letting the world, not letting the world happen to you, but you
Hmm.
create your own world, don't you? Once you identify that I am in control, and then it's basically a shift of your identity that instead of everything happening to me, I am in control, that I can
Yeah.
make things happen. And my
Hmm.
role as a mother, my role as a friend, my role as, whatever, my role as a salesperson, those are things that emanate from me knowing that I'm in control. Then what you
Hmm.
do is you change your beliefs and what you value through all the things that we're teaching you in your mind shift, the Jim Rohn help you identify your beliefs, and from your beliefs, it changes your feelings. Your feelings then affect your actions. Then your
Hmm.
actions affect your environment. So it's kind of this congruency that you're creating in your head, and you're doing it
Yeah.
right, Lexi. You're totally doing it right. So I can't be more proud of you. You're just kicking butt. You have to overcome that, and that's what most agents, they think that it's the mechanics of, well, if I read the script, and it's like, no, 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 you're not getting the
Hmm.
point. It's changing how you think about yourself and what you do to change how
Yeah.
you feel, and your beliefs affects everything else. So you're on
Absolutely.
track, Lexi. I love it.
Thank you. I'm excited. I know. I'm just like, when I was doing the retirement outfitter that I was working with, and
Yeah,
we were banging the phones for 8 to 10 hours a day, and then we'd go out in the field, right? And like, I wasn't in a good mental space. And I feel like now that I look back on that time, I'm like, I made it harder for myself. If I would have adapted this mindset then, I would have been able to be successful. But I had negative self talk. That's what something Jim Rohn says. He's like, one of the most important conversations you have is with yourself, that internal dialogue. And
yeah,
my dialogue, it wasn't good, and I didn't wake up early, and I had no routine, and I just didn't feel good about myself. And I think it reflected. And I think that's where I
totally.
went wrong. I have good social skills, but I didn't have that piece. So
Yeah,
to now know
absolutely.
that that's what I was missing, and that's what I can work on, I feel really like I feel excited about life again. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. I feel like I
Yes,
can make this happen.
absolutely. So I'm going to give you an exercise. I think this will be super effective for you.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
write down those significant emotional times in your life. Just write it down. Yeah, it could be three, like most things that you have negative feelings about. It can be
Okay.
recent, it can be whatever, you know. And then what you want to do is you want to think about um, you want to be able to write the script for yourself. It's like, because I went through that, how did I change positively from that experience? What did I get from it? What did I learn from it?
Yeah.
And when you can start making those ties, every time you think about those things, and then your feelings and your mind changes to the positive things that came from. Because look, when you look at every negative thing in your life, there's always something positive that will have occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can make that connection, then it makes you feel like anything that happens in the future is something you can learn from. So it's like reframing again your past that may or may not be holding you back, but it keeps it in a place where it's always going to be positive, so that in your future it'll always remain positive. That makes sense?
Absolutely, yes. I wrote that down. That's definitely something I'm going to try to focus on. I actually have a journal coming in from Amazon today because I want
Oh,
to.
great.
Yeah, I want to start journaling with my days and writing down my thoughts and like my wins
That's
and
so
something
awesome.
I learned. Yeah, and then just keeping my mind focused through a journal, and I think that'll really help me to find a path of success as well as reframe my mind. What I'm grateful for. Just
Yeah,
being grateful. That's number one.
yeah, absolutely. What's interesting about journaling is there's something that happens from your brain to the pen, because you go through this process of it's a like internal thoughtfulness, and when you start
Mhm.
expressing it on paper, it really starts coming out, because not only are you thinking it, but you're rereading what you wrote, and it's this powerful kind of feedback thing that happens, and then it
Yeah,
allows you to
absolutely.
look at your day properly, right?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
Well, I'm excited. I'm on a good track. Just it's good to hear that. Your feedback is just like where my mind is to be. I've always wanted to be, how you are, and just be the positive, and the things that you say and the way that you say them and stuff. And I've always admired that. And so to kind of have an idea of like how you've been so successful, I'm sure I don't know the half of it, I'm sure, but just to have an idea of how you've gotten there is like it gets me pumped up. I'm excited.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I got a lot to work on too, because I'm never where I want to be. But these are
Sure.
things I always think about, myself. So I hope it can help you. It sounds like you're on the right journey. So we're here for you, Lexi. We're rooting
Thank
for you.
you. I
Okay.
appreciate it, Alex. Thank you.
All right. Anything you need. Take care. God
All right.
bless.
You have a good Saturday. Thank you for your time.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.